All right, it's the 15th of March. We're going to get ready to go out and enjoy some of the springish like weather. All right, it's warmed up a little bit. Time to turn on the external camera. I want this camera back in the airplane and go flying. So I thought I'd try something today. Got the external camera mounted here. This is actually my second flight of the year. I went up the day before to do some upper air work and to do some circuits, but I wanted to concentrate on the flying and not mess with any GoPros. Although it is warm-ish, it's above freezing, it's nice to work in. It still takes a little while for the engine to warm up, so... In the meantime, I guess I can just gently taxi into position. I left out the warm-up and the mag checks. You know, the boring bits.
And Hotel Mike Bravo has traffic.
Hotel Mike Bravo, roger, portable.
The traffic today consisted of a Robinson R-44 helicopter flying around with some sort of sensor trailing below it. I'm not sure what that sensor was, but we'll have a better look at it near the end of the video. Well, there's something you don't see every day. Okay. Altimeter set. Trim set. Fuel pump on, mixture rich. Lap set. Let's go aviate. So here was my big learning moment of the day. It wasn't the stick and rudder skills getting rusty. It was the little things like using your checklist instead of your memory.
A little bit of a left side crosswind. So
I had my iPad before flight right on the panel. All my checklists are in there. I don't know why I didn't use them.
Tail up. Bravo's car, uniform, final.
Bravo, asking from Roger, report down.
Roger that.
The canopy latch was hook closed, but the latch was not locked. Fortunately, the way Vans designed the latch, the airflow keeps it from opening. But this is not an error I plan to make again anytime soon.
And Hotel Mike Bravo's airborne for the circuit.
Hotel Mike Bravo, roger.
Yes, to the radio. Hotel Mike Bravo's turning final. Stop go.
Hotel Mike Bravo, roger, portable.
The left crosswind. Keep that left wing a little bit low.
As for the stick and rudder skills, I was pleased to find that I had not forgotten the basics. I had retained at least some of the skills I learned from Luke and Jeff out at Harv's Air. My landings were on or very near the center line of the runway. The upwind wheel touched down first, and I managed to keep it straight on landing and takeoff, right down the middle.
Airport power. Here we come. That was ugly.
Okay, they weren't all perfect, but that's why we practice.
That was ugly, but we'll take it.
I suppose the important thing is that we identify what we did wrong and we work to improve with every flight.
A little bit of a bounce.
My sink rate was just a bit too high on touchdown, and I misjudged the height by only a few inches.
Trip set. Up on, away we go.
But I didn't panic or make any abrupt inputs or get sucked into a PIO and kangaroo down the runway. Well, it wouldn't be a normal day around here without some kind of interaction with the local wildlife. Here, Raven got up close and personal with a bald eagle, who decided it was a good time to fly right across the runway.
Okay. I'm going to go around because there was an eagle just about got eaten there.
On the slow-mo, it looks a lot smaller and a lot farther away, but I was sure that thing was going to fly right up my nose.
Flaps up in stages.
Practicing a go-around in the landing configuration is a good skill to keep sharp. And we're back on final for 3-0. That's a little smoother.
And braking once the tail wheel's down. Off. And we're stopped. I'm going to use takeoff flaps this time. Trim set. Up on, extra rich.
When I started flying the RV6, it took me some time to get used to the rudder inputs needed to keep it straight. My first few flights were zigzag takeoffs, but I seemed to be getting the hang of how much rudder to use and when to use it. There was about a 5-knot crosswind from the left on this day, and I managed to deal with it pretty well. The left wheel touched down first on the landings, and the right wheel lifted off just before the left on the takeoffs. I'd be happy if all my landings were that smooth. Not perfect, but quite acceptable.
Left crosswind.
All in all, I was mostly pleased with the flight. After being stuck in the hangar for the winter, and with me not flying, I was glad to see my skills hadn't faded nearly as much as I had feared. I'm still kind of pissed at myself for not locking the canopy closed, and for not noticing it after all those circuits, but thanks to the GoPros, that's a lesson learned.
And Silco Radio, Delta Bravo, down and clear on Alpha. Delta Bravo, Rosebridge, talk to you next time.
And as for that helicopter, the R-44, he was just lifting off when I pulled up for gas. He's got that sensor hanging below. If anyone has any idea what that's for, leave a comment below. I'm curious to know what that's for.